Alright. I guess based off the last video, I get briefly more into ego death and how that feels and how strange it really is. I don't even understand how it happened, really. How the ego death just happened. But in just after this whole process of obsession and all this pain, like just part of me just started to die completely. And the person I was before, this person I thought of, like, in my head, who I am, my identity, all these things attached to it, died completely. Like, it's gone. And all these other things started to show up in me, and I look back at it now. These are probably things I always liked since I was a small child that just, I guess, somehow were lost or died in me or conditioned to get away from. And this is the weirdest process of this awakening. So I said briefly, first it was the obsession, and then I started to surrender to God or the process more. Then I started to really learn what it is to have real love for somebody. Like, what it means to actually have love, like real love and not selfish love, like I mentioned earlier. And slowly after that, an ego death like just happened almost like overnight. It's very weird. But yeah, the ego death just happened, and everything I thought I was dead. So, for example, let's just say, for instance, I used to like playing video games a lot. Like, there's some games I like, all these things, and I no longer care about that at all. I was really into playing card games, Magic the Gathering, for instance, really fun hobby. It just died out of nowhere. My interest, zero. And then I even like paid like over €100 for like some Magic the Gathering exclusive stuff. It came in the mail, and normally I would be excited to have it. I got it, and oh, yeah, I guess it's here now. And I just put it away. Like it was nothing. My attachment to it is completely gone. It could like burn up. It could just be stolen, and I wouldn't give a shit. It's so strange. And then all these material things I have a bunch of these statues around my apartment of these hobbies or interests I have. Some stuff from Pokemon. What's another one? I don't know. Star Wars. These things. What was it? Silent Hill. I don't know. Just a bunch of these interests and hobbies I had. And I had like statues and these merchandise for stuff, and now it's like I don't care about these statues I have in my home. Before I used to be like, oh, look, it looks so nice. I love these things I have. They make my home look nice and all these things, and now it's just gone. That feeling of like I have these nice things, like they're not important anymore all of a sudden. And then all this time I normally always I was like just buying something I didn't need, but I wanted, like, oh, I want this new product or things like that. It just died completely. Like I haven't, like, for the most part I just buy food and what I need now. These material wants died completely. And then this, even with the food, I don't buy snacks anymore. I don't buy unhealthy food. Like, just naturally out of nowhere, like my body or myself, my soul, I don't know what's going on, just knows what foods I should be eating and what foods I shouldn't be eating. And I just, in the first time in my life, I just started eating fruits every day. And then all of a sudden I just started wanting to only eat like chicken as my meat for protein, and eggs. And then all these like snacks or guilty little pleasures, like I mentioned earlier, like a donut or cookies. These things, like, I can't look at them the same way anymore. It's like, do I want this? Do I want to eat it? Would I even get anything out of it if it goes in my mouth? And it's like, not really. Not really. I'm sure it'll probably taste good, but that desire to buy it, that desire to eat it, it's like I already know what it tastes like, I guess. And yeah, I guess it tastes okay, but it's just gone completely. And this has no discipline from me. Normally, all of this stuff, everyone going through this stuff, wanting to eat better, all this stuff, it needs discipline. You control yourself. There was none with me. And then even like going to sleep and getting up early, no discipline at all. And then of course, like, I just started exercising more also. No discipline. Just naturally doing like 20,000 steps a day, 10 miles. 10 miles of walking, running, all these things. No discipline. Just like that. Like my interest in this stuff just out of nowhere. It's like my body knowing like what I feel like I want or need to do. And I just feel like I'm like on an autopilot in some sort of way. Even like making these videos now, it's like some sort of an autopilot going on. Like I need to get this out for myself. I don't know, probably for myself. But that's what's, I mean, that's just the weirdest thing with the ego death. And then with the ego death too, these old or these new interests out of nowhere, like I was mentioning the exercise, and it just feels right to do it. And then the weirdest thing ever, something I thought I just didn't like at all, dancing. Me dancing. Why would I like dancing out of nowhere? And all of a sudden I just want to listen to music and dance. I spend some free time just in my apartment here, headphones on, listening to music, and just dancing out of nowhere. like a true ego death out of nowhere. The person I was is just gone, like overnight, basically. Going through these changes. And it's, how could you even explain this to anyone? How can I even believe it? How this normally takes so much effort, so much of your time to, I don't know, to prioritize all this stuff. And for me, it just happened overnight with no effort at all. Like, I don't understand it at all. Why? I was petting my dog behind me. She's licking herself and making noises, and it's distracting. Yes, very distracting. Unfortunately, you can't really see her too much behind the chair. There she is. Yeah, got her. Yeah, very nice dog. But yeah, I can't explain these changes. It's just paranormal how this has happened to somebody overnight, basically. How does basically your whole ego, who you are, your identity, die overnight over a 5-month relationship? How does that happen? Why didn't this happen with someone I was married with for 10 years in my divorce? You would think I would have a much bigger reaction to that, but I didn't. But this person I met, which did not treat me right either, triggered this event to happen. There's no logic to this. There's absolutely no logic to this. This somehow has to do to my surrender to God or the universe, whatever you want to call it. This surrender just put me on the path now, I guess, or if you want to call it that. And I don't know. And for a while, during this whole process of obsession, I also got into like tarot reading videos. You're gonna get her back and all this stuff. She's gonna talk to you again. She's gonna do this and that. All this stuff. Of course, I look back now. It's like it's not exactly healthy to be in this mindset. Wishing, hoping, waiting. You have to move on with your life, unfortunately. As much as I love her so much as I want her back so much, I need to move on. And those tarot reading videos are they're just baiting a lot of people to prevent their personal growth, I think. Of course, they are a very useful coping mechanism, and even I admit, sometimes you just feel weak. Sometimes it just gets to you, even after this whole process, the pain of losing somebody. But I need to remember I lost them, but I pulled away first. And even if I got back with them now, I'm sure I have better tools. But would it even work? Is that person even like the person I should be with all these things if she did all that. But what's supposedly supposed to happen in this twin flame thing? I'm supposed to go through this journey myself, and then somehow she's supposed to do these changes too, or some sort of a change. If the belief of like we both have the same soul in the same body is true, if it's true, then she would start feeling some of the things I have. And it's too early to tell this stuff because all these changes have happened very recently with me, extremely recently. This is all within like 2 weeks. Of course, the whole process a bit, especially with the obsession, took several weeks. But this whole awakening process is very new. This is within like a 2-week time span, basically. And yeah, and for some reason, I don't know why, I felt like I should just make these videos now. I don't know if anyone's going to see them. Probably just going to be one view for me, but who knows? It's probably just more for me, more than anything, making these videos. More for my health and everything. And I don't know. I don't know what it is for, but it feels like this is the right thing to do right now. And that's the big thing right now of all of this. So when you kind of surrender, you start going with the flow of things. And right now, I just felt like the flow is, I do this right now. Like, almost like I don't have a free will or something while I'm saying this. And another thing too, when you start going with the flow of things, you really start talking from here, from your heart, not so much up here anymore. And that's, I guess, the next step I'll probably get into into the next video. But after this ego death, I was like really questioning, what am I? What am I anymore? I don't want to play these games anymore. I don't care about my cards anymore. I don't care about anything I have, all these material items. What am I? And then at almost perfect timing, I learned about this thing called I think samadhi, basically. And right after I asked myself the question, then I learned about this process where you are everything and you are nothing at the same time. It sounds stupid, I know. What is that? You're everything and nothing at the same time. Ooh, that's very smart. Yeah, it sounds stupid when you start using here. But like I said before, you have to start using here more. And you start to understand it a bit more. In reality, if I break it down, is you are a part of everything and you are like a very small nothing. You're a part of everything. You are everything, but you're also nothing. Because you yourself are so small and basically nothing. But you are also everything. You are attached to everything. And after this ego death, and I had a day questioning, what am I anymore? That perfectly came into the picture. And then that's when I started to get some peace. And the obsession started to go away. And I felt free for a while. Like free from this obsession of thinking about this breakup and all this stuff. I just got peace when I had that realization of like, you are everything and you are nothing. And it was just a very beautiful process of this kind of meditation process. And I can't fault the results at all if it makes me feel this much better with myself and this much peace with myself. And yeah, then I don't know, ever since that day, there's been, of course, more and more challenges coming up and more things to learn every day. But that was the biggest changes, the ego death, and then finally finding peace. And then really, I guess, getting in touch with my true self, learning I like dancing, learning actually like to exercise more. And of course, you exercise naturally when you're dancing. It works hand in hand. I started to do just all these things more naturally, with no discipline at all. And it's just the weirdest journey, weirdest changes I've ever gone through in my life. I'm 36 years old, and I'm still just questioning, even now, how is this relationship I had with this woman for 5 months, which now I feel or know is a twin flame connection, just awakened me to this level. And when you go under all these changes, you no longer have doubt that there's something going on here. There's something science is not explaining. How can science explain an ego death like that? I'm sure there's probably some logical way, but having it overnight, over a connection you had with this person in a small amount of time, not even a year, and it triggers something like this in you. I don't know. And I'm very grateful for the whole process. And it was very painful, of course. But with all pain comes change. And regardless of all the pain I've experienced and gone through, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't feel at peace I am now if I didn't go through all that. Then I need to always remember that. Because here's the thing. Yeah, I feel more at peace now. I feel like I have a real actual love for myself now. More that I don't need validation from another person. The more I'm just okay with just being with just me. There are still times when you get weak, you have doubt, those emotions come up. And then I guess that's the next part of the process. After you have this peace, your ego starts coming back. You start having, how do I say, you start having dark thoughts again. Of course, life has many uncomfortable aspects in it, and you are going to be thrown into life, and there's going to be these uncomfortable stuff that happens, and you are going to lose your peace. You are going to lose that feeling of like, oh, I feel I'm with one with everything and all that. No, it doesn't stay forever. There are parts when it just goes away. And I guess I'll explain that in the next video a bit, and of course a bit more of the peace part. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. To the total of one person probably watching. But yeah, either way, toodaloo. Love you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.